What's up everybody, and welcome back to the channel. As you guys can read from the title, today we are replacing the water pump on this S10. This video applies for 1996 all the way to 2004. This one is the V6 model. It is the 4.3 liter. Alright, let's get started. First thing you want to do is obviously drain the fluid, get all the old coolant, and if you have any coolant in your system, get it out, dump it out. Okay, if you come to the passenger side, I raised it up because my dump bucket isn't small enough, but you can see right there's the drain for the radiator. So we're going to go ahead and loosen that up. Alright, so just like that. Twist. Just let it all leak out. Alright, now that that's draining out, you want to go ahead and remove your fan clutch. So let's go ahead and get the tool and remove that. Okay, so I got this tool right here. You can rent this at an AutoZone or O'Reilly's. What it is you hook it on, put it right there on the actual fan clutch nut. Then you want to hit it right there with a hammer. You want to give it a good swing, something like that. Well, you guys seen, here it is. This is what it looks like. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and break it loose just how I showed you. Alright, so I swung at it, and just like that, it broke loose. So if you got that tool, it'll help you out a lot. If not, I don't know, man. Try to find another way, but I just would recommend that way. Saves a lot of time. You want to just spin this off now. And this does spin counterclockwise to remove. Alright, now slide this up and out of the way. Alright, so now we can go ahead and remove this belt. If you see, there's a square that fits a 3/8 right here. Right here. So you want to push it down like this. Just like that. Slip the belt off, release the tension, and you should be able to remove it all the way around now. Slip the belt off. There we go. Alright, now we have pretty much full access to the water pump. course, you're gonna have to remove this line right here, the hose that goes right here, his hose clamp, and if you're ever not sure on how many bolts is being held on with the water pump or how many hoses are connected, you can always look at the new part. You can always look at the new part. So let's go to the new part. Alright, so this is how it sits in the engine. This is that top hose I was telling you we got to get to. Looks like there's another hose here and that lower hose. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 bolts that hold this thing together. And pretty simple. Alright, now let's go back to the car. Alright, so I'm gonna start by removing this one right here first. Get this out of the way. It should be a flat head screwdriver or an 8mm. Should be good enough. Alright, so I closed that line over there so I can move my drain bucket, and now I'm going to go ahead and attempt to take this hose off right here. Should be loose enough. Alright, so just pulled up on it. Here it is right here. Went ahead and tucked it up here so it could be out of my way. Now we're going to go ahead and go on to the other line right here. Gonna have to figure out how we're gonna get that one off. Probably some long needle noses, and take it off from this side up here, because this side looks a little harder to get to. But you know what, I know I don't have to, but I'm gonna remove this pulley just to get a little bit more room. Even when it comes out, it's gonna slide up more easier. I don't have to do it. I know I could work around it, but I'm gonna do it just to make my life easier. Alright, so it was just the 13mm. Sat right here. Drilled it all out. Took it out. Now I can kind of see right here there's a clamp, but I think I'm still gonna go with that route just because it looks like it's more easier access. And let me show you how I'm gonna do it. Alright, so this is how I'm doing it. Just simply grabbing that clamp, bringing it up, letting it go there. You want to go ahead and wiggle that hose off. Be very careful you don't rip or tear that hose, but that's how you get access to the upper hose clamp right there. Alright, now that that hose is off, we got to work on that bottom lower radiator hose, and then we can just break loose all the bolts that is around here, the 2 over here and 2 on this side. So it's an 8mm down there again. I'll show you. Alright, so now that it's all draining, we remove that lower hose. Down there. Let it all drain out. And now we can get to the bolts that are actually in here. Bolts, let's see if we can see them. There it goes. So there's 2 right there, and the other 2 right there. Alright, now let me take those off. Okay, so it's a 14 millimeter that goes right there. That's the first one, then there's one right on bottom. Go ahead, crack those loose and remove those bolts. Alright, so all the bolts are off now. Should be able to just pry it on off. Probably just give it a quick tap with the hammer. And there it is. Here's the old one. So we gotta clean up all that old gasket and gunk down there. Let's go ahead and pull this one out. Okay. Alright, so now you want to transfer the pulley unless you have a new pulley that came with yours. Mine's did not. So what I'm going to do is with the impact gun, go ahead and obviously hold it with my other hand, but you've seen what I did there. Okay, let me take this off really quick. Alright, and just like that comes off. Go ahead and let's take it to the new part. We're going to go ahead and cut this off. Take this off. And now we can sit this there. Line up the bolts. Tighten them by hand first. Then once they're snug with hand, once they're tightened a bit by hand, get your gun and impact it in. Torque them down. And you should be good to reinstall this back hose. Okay, we got the hose back where it needs to be, this back where it needs to be. Now we can go ahead and install it onto the vehicle. But first I'm going to go ahead and clean up all the old residue and all that fun stuff. Alright, so this is the hose side up. These gaskets, make sure you get these gaskets, they go this way down. Now the tricky part is how are we going to put the gaskets perfectly in place. Now let me show you 2 ways. Well, this is the same way, but you can either do it this way so it sticks. What I like to do is add a little bit of silicone. So let me show you. It does not need silicone, but I put the smallest amount. So just put the smallest amount, just like that. And kind of just spread it out a little bit evenly. Okay, so now what you do is you get your gasket, put it right there in place, and apply some pressure. Nothing too crazy, just enough. Make sure the hole are lined up. And now let me show you why we do that. This is the side without the silicone. This is the side with the silicone. See how that fell? That one didn't. Buys you enough time to put it in place and at least get 1 or 2 bolts screwed in there. Now, the other way to get these gaskets from not falling is obviously install it like this. You gotta hold on to the bolt either from the top or the bottom, whichever one you're gonna slide in first, just so it doesn't slip out of the way. So you want to kind of do it one hand like this, and then with your right hand obviously do the same like this. Alright, so you can kind of see there the gasket's lined up over there. Let's see. The gasket's lined up. Right over there. Can't really see, it's blurry, but got them lined up. Now it's ready to tighten up. And now we can just go ahead and tighten these up. Connect the hose line, connect the lower radiator hose, put the plastic fan shroud back on, and also the fan clutch. Alright, so now that we got those 4 bolts all tightened up, we're gonna go ahead and put this hose back on. Alright, now that's on there. Let's go ahead and put this hose on there. Do that. Now we're gonna grab this hose, put it back on there. Same thing. Alright, so I went ahead and put the pulley on first. Now we got the belt on. Next step is going to be the fan clutch, then the plastic fan shroud. Alright, let's go ahead and install this fan clutch. Alright, so fan clutch is on now. We put the plastic fan shroud back on. Hooked up my bleeder tool. What you want to do to bleed this is turn the heater on full blast, and obviously turn the car on and let this just burp itself out. Alright guys, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. If you guys want to see any other videos on any other vehicles with any other problems or replacements, Comment down below what you'd like to see, and we'll do it in the shop. Alright, later guys.